They may still be the favorites for now, but just how long the leash do we give Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in their chase for the ever-dwindling title?
Oh, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, they've picked up some pieces in the offseason, but is this team truly any better? Right now, you could be looking at only the third best team in this division.
There seem to be just as many question marks as there are title contenders in the AFC North. We will preview that division on Sunday Scaries with Bucks McGee.
Oh, the AFC North. Preseason and such every year. It's like hopes and dreams. You just think maybe one of these teams can do something, and lo and behold, they fall apart, and by the end of the season, they're really just non-existent.
Bucks McGee, it's interesting that with the amount of expectations every single year in this division, it also seems to be, you'd figure we'd get tired of the expectations. And I guess we kind of are to an extent. But it's also the division that is so plentiful of content for us to discuss.
Yeah.
Sometimes for the wrong reasons.
No, it's mostly for the wrong reasons. Like, let's be honest here. You really look at this division, and it's like, all right, you have two shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and then two other, we have no idea what we're doing, and it's just a hot mess. So it's the AFC North, so at least it's entertainment.
And if you're wondering one of those teams, which category they fall into, well, that's why we have these longer discussions to break it down. Let's start it off with the team that is very clearly at the bottom of this.
I guess we have to. We have no choice. We have to be fair. Okay.
Yes. Do you feel for Tood Monken with this job? Because at least he's got a positive attitude in camp and preseason, but his quarterback options, you've got a very young, raw, but talented quarterback, and then you've got the veteran who's got all the talent in the world, but something's not quite right up there.
I don't know how you're positive. Like, literally, they trade away probably the greatest defensive player in your team's history, possibly a top 5 all time in the NFL. And you're left with, your defense is decent. You still have some decent pieces on defense. Your offense, I just don't know what you're going to do with. You've got, like you said, you've got two quarterbacks, one with possible talent that could be something. You have another one who at one point, was considered probably a top 5, and now no one knows what you're going to get from him. A decent run game, I guess, because you want to be a head coach, you got to be positive, but by now I'd be like, why did I do this?
Yeah. Speaking of feeling for Tood Monken, you have to feel for Jared Verse. He goes from one game shy of the Super Bowl to the dog pound.
Right? It's like you go from, I was almost there, and now you're like, geez, yeah, what do I just show up to work. Guess I got to just do what I got to do.
Punch the clock.
Exactly. It's the same story every year with Cleveland. Is the quarterback situation ever going to be solved? Are they ever going to have literally 2 straight years of decent quarterback play? I say, honestly, you just let Sanders do his thing and you see what you got. Honestly, yeah. Watson should have just sat there, collected his money, and moved on. Like, it's sad that, the fans of Cleveland have to go through this. You send Garrett, you trade Garrett off to, the Rams, the F them picks team of the decade. So they're all set. You got some pieces, but overall this team is just gonna, they may pull off a win here and there, but I guess it's a long-term rebuild.
Yeah, eat the contract and move on. Now, being that it is such an unsettled quarterback room, it's a little bit of a head scratcher why they would burn 2 draft picks on wide receivers in Casey Concepcion and Denzel Boston.
I have no idea. I guess they felt that one of these quarterbacks was going to really be able to do something. And if that's the case, then just pick one and roll with it. Like, it's either Watson or Sanders. Like, I don't want to hear like there's this whole battle. Yeah, like, let's be real. I think it's going to be Watson. I think they're going to screw the pooch. It's going to be Watson, and you're just going to watch this team falter. And Sanders is going to sit there again another year, and people are going to scream for him. And it's not going to be till they're like 2-10 that all of a sudden you're going to see Sanders come out and finish the season. So I guess they felt pick up some shiny new toys, give the fans some false hope, and here you are.
Well, they may already be well on their way to that, but we'll get to that later on. All right, moving on. We certainly can't spend an hour talking about the Browns. However, at times last year, maybe even the last couple of years, the Bengals weren't terribly far off from that pace either.
At least they would have put points up. They just would have gave up more points, but at least they would have been entertaining.
Yeah, is this the classic example? I mean, we kind of went back and forth between them and the Cowboys, but is this the Bengals kind of the prototypical example of our usual argument where score 48, give up 50?
Well, they've done some things in the offseason to address the defense. I think maybe they'll only give up 42 instead of 50. They, basically took draft picks, threw them to the Giants, said, give us Sexy Dexy there. And, he's a quality player, no doubt about it. They've picked up some other pieces. I think this defense is going to be better than last year. I don't know if they're going to gel enough where this team can go deep into the playoffs, but they're better off than they were last year. They definitely are.
So you buy that Dexter Lawrence is an upgrade over the departed Trey Hendrickson.
Well, let's be real. Hendrickson was on the downslide. Let's be honest, and he had the Bengals by the cahoons because let's be real. At this point, they weren't going to do anything, so they wanted to keep him. So he was just give me money or I'm gone. Give me money or I'm gone. And then they finally, I guess in theory, wised up and said okay, and traded picks and improve the line a little bit. So I think you had to let Hendrickson go. Like, at this point, he's a hired gun. At that point, in his career, he's a hired gun. If it was a couple of years ago and you traded him, he probably would have made a home somewhere and, he's fine. He's good to go. At this point, he's a hired gun. So you let him go. You pick up a guy who's probably going to give you another 4 or 5 years of solid play. You had to do what you got to do.
And the other parts that they brought in addition to Dexter Lawrence, it's kind of a sum of the parts solution because a lot of them, they're just kind of like picking the low-hanging fruit. And one has to wonder if this is due to them being the Kansas City light model as far as paying all their stars so much money, and then there's not a lot else of cheese lying around for everyone else. Will this eventually come back to haunt them, giving Burrow the money, giving Chase the money, giving T. Higgins the money, and now you don't have enough to fill out the roster?
I think the biggest question was giving T. Higgins the money the right move? Burrow, yes, you have to. He's your franchise guy. Chase, you had to.
Generational receiver.
Exactly. Now, mind you, T. Higgins is talented. There's no doubt about it. But was he worth that money where you could have probably turned and pick somebody up in free agency? I think a lot of guys would want to play with Burrow and Chase. You could have looked at the draft and said, you know what, we could probably, where we're, drafting, we probably could pick up some solid defensive players, but you decided that offense was more important than defense. And now, you had to give up first round picks to the Giants, and you basically picked up pieces, not horrible pieces, but decent pieces, but nothing that's going to change the fortune of this defense so much. So now you have to hope that these parts gel right off the bat, and then they perform. That's what you're hoping for.
Yeah, T. Higgins very easily could have been turned into a couple draft picks, and whether that was defensive help, like you said, or just flip him into another couple receivers. I mean, you've got Jamar Chase on the other side. As long as you can catch a football, you should be the beneficiary of plenty open passes and single coverage.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe upgrade the tight end position a little bit. You had options. Now, if you think of it that way, if they ended up trading T Higgins, could they have gotten one of these solid tight ends in the draft the last couple of years? This off
Yeah.
that instead of Mike Gesicki back in when you had him running around. So there's there's a lot of shoulda, coulda, woulda. This is the team defensively. Yes, they're slightly better. I still don't know if it's enough to get them over the hump. And if you're telling me they're going to be in the AFC Championship game, depending on the path that lands, possibly. But I don't know. I think this team still needs a lot to work on.
Mike Gesicki, Mr. Dolphin, Mr. Bengal.
Quality tight end.
Yeah. On to the teams that people actually would want to hear us talk about. And these are two teams that live in the ire of the depths of your heart and soul, Bucks McGee. And of course, the Steelers are led by none other than a player that may live in the ire depths of your heart and soul, Mr. Wait until the last minute every year if you want to play Aaron Rodgers, deciding for the final time that he wants to play. Aaron Rodgers' swan song. Do you buy it, especially with this reunion with Mike McCarthy in the wake of Mike Tomlin's long-awaited exit?
The greatest of all time. Oh, my goodness. The greatest thrower of the football. Aaron Rodgers, blah, blah, blah. MVPs aplenty, but one Super Bowl. Whatever. Highly overrated. Whatever. No. Here we go. Yeah, I think this is it for him. He knows it. Like, literally, I think he knows what this team is. So why put yourself through it? Because what is this team going to be next year? Like, the defense is aging. The offense isn't bad. They've got solid receivers. The run game is solid. I don't think they're in the elite of the AFC. They're going to probably win 9 games. 10 if they're lucky.
A classic Mike Tomlin season, even in his exit.
Oh no! If it's 10 wins, it's better than a Mike Tomlin season. And then at that point, again, if you make the playoffs, it could be a one and done. Now they've got 2 young guys at quarterback. I thought Will Howard was the heir apparent, but that looks like it may not be the case. So now it's all right. You go through the swan song of Aaron Rodgers. Yay. Mike McCarthy's there. They're going to buddy it up. Good times, whatever. If you're a Steelers fan, you hope for decent. You hope for maybe 10 wins, but I just don't know what you're going to get out of them.
Yeah, and we saw a lot last year. It was fairly apparent. I mean, once in a blue moon, he could still dial it back and make everyone think it was 2010. But there were many, many instances where Aaron Rodgers' arm did not look like what it once was. They did load up in the offseason with a pretty fairly even mix of young players and veterans. They bring in Michael Pittman off my Colts. Now, people say I'm hard on Michael Pittman because he didn't exactly have a quarterback throwing to him. I guess we can have the argument of whether or not this is a better situation for him. He's got to be opposite DK Metcalf here. They also bring in Rico Dowdle to run the ball after a pretty impressive season in Carolina because Jalen Warren, after 3 years, still has yet to establish himself as the lead back in Pittsburgh. And a familiar face from your Buccaneers days, Jamel Dean, also joins the Steel City.
Oh, Jamel. Jamel's good for a half, and then after that, he gets a mysterious injury, and then, he comes sits on the bench and whatever. Yeah, they picked up some parts. They're hoping, Rico Dowdle, has a repeat of last year. I don't know if it happens. I don't know. It's like you hope that they're like, yeah, if he can give us, 1,100 yards and this and that. I don't know if it happens because if the pass game isn't there, Rico's a straightforward physical kind of run. They're just going to fill the box and That's all it's going to be. Pittman's good. He's a volume guy. He's going to make his catches. He's going to eat up, volume. It's just, is it going to be enough? Are they going to be a constant third and longs? If that's the case, I don't know if he's going to break it. You do have DK, freakish talent. I think maybe he's sitting there saying, I don't know if this was the best move to leave Seattle, and here I am. Because at this point, my quarterbacking has just been horrible the last 3 years or so. It is what it is.
DK Metcalf's career was a little bit of the bookend. He got into Seattle after the Super Bowl, and he gets to Pittsburgh as Seattle wins another Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's probably sitting there going, man, if I could have just sucked it up for a couple of years, if I just could have sucked it up. But at the end of the day, like you said, they've got pieces. They should be competitive. But I think with the quarterback position, it's just they're going to be a one and done if they can scrape into the playoffs.
Does it feel odd to imply that the balance needed for Rico Dowdle to have room to run was better off with Bryce Young than Aaron Rodgers?
Carolina's offensive line was good. They had a good offensive line, and with Bryce, he wasn't a break the pocket scrambler kind of guy, but he had that ability, he could move around in the pocket. So if he needed to take off and get a couple of yards, he could do it. Aaron Rodgers isn't taking off for nothing. If he's smart, he's just going to fall on the ground and eat a yard and call it a day. Okay, Aaron Rodgers makes Tom Brady look like Eric Dickerson in his prime. Okay, let's just be real here. Okay, Aaron. Okay, just if this was Aaron, yeah, there's always one, folks. If you know, you know. If this was Aaron of 5-6 years ago, Aaron could move. That's just not him anymore. So the run game is going to be of utmost importance here. Their offensive line is going to have to hold up like nobody's business, and you got to give Aaron a puncher's chance to throw the ball. We'll see what happens, but right now, I don't know.
How do you like the younger additions here? I mean, Aaron Rodgers is known for spreading the ball around quite a bit from the Green Bay days. So you got Pittman, you got DK. They draft Jeremy Bernard. They had Lemon stolen from them by Philadelphia, but Jeremy Bernard, at least through one preseason game, doesn't look like he's all that bad a consolation prize. And then a little bit of a puzzling move, they draft Drew Allar when they already had Will Howard. So maybe it's just a little insurance for the future beyond Rodgers.
That, or they just didn't think Howard was. They felt, they'll sit there and say, well, he was. The way that he dropped, he's got so much talent, we had to take him. Or it's, Will Howard, maybe we don't believe in him, and Drew's got some talent. He looked good in the first preseason game. But see, this is the thing, it's preseason. In first preseason game, it's it's all pretty much backups. So you take it with a grain of salt. Guys are trying to make the roster, so they are competitive. I don't know if they did enough to really help this team. I think there's a point where you could have sat there and said, all right, well, maybe we've got to get rid of somebody to, we got to addition by subtraction. And I'm going to say the name and people are going to look at me and think I'm nuts, but TJ Watt. Yeah, I get it. He's been great for years, but you know what? There's a point where you got to say, after this year, he's on the downside. Let's be honest. You got Cam Hayward. You've got guys there who, you want to hang your hat on, but how much more are they going to give you? This organization really needs to start looking towards the future and really rebuilding things. And if you want to hang on to the past, that's great, but it's not going to get you far.
So it sounds like they kind of kept up with the offense to keep up with the Joneses with the way the league is in the modern era. And you feel like they probably should have had the opposite strategy and tried to improve the defense more than the offense. Or at least inject it with youth.
Yeah, because I would have done that. Let's say they had traded Watt and gotten some picks. You could have went either way. You could have picked up someone offensively, someone defensively. You could have spread it. You could have spread it around. It's like they just picked whatever they could find to say, okay, Aaron, this is what we're going to give you, and hopefully it's the best. Hopefully it'll work for you. And I don't know if it's enough.
Well, teams that certainly you've had enough of late are the other contender in this division, the Baltimore Ravens, and I think the longest running tenant of the fraudulent penthouse last year. So this is an interesting one to me because this, of course, they really shook things up by getting rid of Harbaugh, which you kept implying it throughout the season, and it did eventually happen. But for a team that's built around two established veterans, Derrick Henry, who's a rushing champion, Lamar Jackson, who's a multiple-time most valuable player, is a first-year head coach the way to go instead of an established veteran coach?
Well, let's be honest. They went defense. They went with this head coach to get the defense up to par because they feel that this offense is good enough. On paper, yes, this offense is good enough, but let's be honest. You signed Zay Flowers to, honestly, I think a ridiculous contract, and now he's already banged up. He's banged up, and it's honestly this team is built for now. It's either now or never. Like there's no more of this. Oh, they've got this great window and this and that. Like right now, it's in this division. It's them and the Bengals, and they've got to do it now. They don't have the luxury of sitting there and 2-3 years from now we could be this. No, it has to happen now. There's been this talk about Lamar's contract. I guess the organization's been ready to get a contract done. Lamar hasn't reached out to them. So is Lamar done? Is Lamar just going to play this year out and say, you know what, I'm out, good, heck of a run? So there are all these questions that linger. But at the end of the day, there's talent. They just can never get over the hump. So that's all this is. They either get it done or they don't. They've got talent on both sides of the ball. It's time to put up or shut up.
Then Jesse Minter is sitting there like, Lamar, I came here for you, and now my hands are empty.
Yeah. And then Lamar's like, okay, we'll see you later because someone else is going to give me something, or he's just done with it. I don't know, but there's talent all around this team. Derrick Henry, though, is getting up there, and Derrick Henry's up there. Let's be honest. Yeah. How many more years of what he's given you can he do? This is the year. This literally, I think, is the year for them. It has to happen.
I mean, they could always squeeze a few more years out of him if they have any more seasons like last season where they just forget he's on the roster so many times and don't put the wear and tear on his tires.
Yeah, by that time they're like 5-9 at that point. Then let's run you for 4 straight games. Let's see what you can give me. It's ridiculous, but this team has talent. I think there's no question about it. They just have to get it done. So now there's a new head coach. So now what's the excuse? If Lamar can't deliver, then, it's one of those things where that's great, Lamar. You're great for the personal awards, but when it comes to winning the big one, you just can't do it.
Yeah, and the Zay Flowers deal also scratched. I mean, he's a very talented player, but he's very, very hit or miss. He is prone to drops, and as soon as that ink wasn't even dry yet, and he's injured, so it could be an opportunity open for rookie Jacoby Lane, or it could just be another situation of the Ravens training staff lacking and Lamar not having a supporting cast going throughout the season.
Yeah, he's had the supporting cast. The end of the day, they just haven't gotten it done. If you're great. If you're a great quarterback, you got to figure it out, and you got to get it done. You got to get the wins where you can. So, you're not going to have your full complement of weapons, through 17 straight games. You're going to go through injuries. You just got to figure out how to get it done. And this is the year you either do it or you don't.
Now, Jesse Minter is, of course, a defensive mind, and to dial back to our previous conversation, here is where Trey Hendrickson fell after they failed to land Max Crosby. I get it almost, and it was a little bit of a weird timing in the offseason. It almost kind of felt like this was where they were planning on signing Trey one way or the other, and they just went like, we'll just go for broke with Max, assume that he's probably going to fail his physical, and then we've got Trey waiting in the wings. Plus, they bring back Calais Campbell. So they're at least stout up front.
Yeah, and they're AARP up front. Yeah, that's great. Okay. The whole Max Crosby thing was unbelievable. If he comes out and has an unbelievable season this year, they're going to look like fools. Because he basically told them, I'm good. And then, they go through the whole doctor spiel or whatever. So that's going to be interesting to monitor. But yeah, so then at this point, okay, fine. You bring in, Hendrickson. Okay, it's basically year to year. Let's say he just falls off the cliff this year. Then what? So I'm not 100% sold. Yeah, in name it's solid, but we'll see what happens, halfway through the season. Calais Campbell was okay, we need more bodies. So here you go. Hopefully he's lasted long enough where, maybe he's going to be a little more situational. We'll see. I don't know. I don't think he's playing, 40, 50 snaps, but I think he's going to be, he'll be a prime spot. I don't know. I'm not a great fan of it. It's like they were just picking up pieces just to survive. It all comes down to this offense. The defense, I think, will hold, but it comes down to Lamar. If he can't deliver, then I think it might be time where they've got to say, you know what, maybe it's time we let this go.
Interesting decision to beef up the front and none on the back, because we certainly remember ripping Marlon Humphreys a new one several times over the course of the season.
Well, they've got, Starks and stuff back there, and you got Kyle Hamilton. So I think those guys make up for the deficiencies of one Marlon Humphreys. But overall, so you got Patrick Queen. They've got the defense is good to go. It's this offense. That's what this comes down to. So we'll see, but I'm not confident.
Do they start the season in the fraudulent penthouse?
They're one of the they are one of the many. They are one of the many that are in there.
Of the many.
Oh, come on, let's be realistic. We know Buffalo's in there. There's other ones.
I thought Buffalo had gone out. I knew Herbert is still in there. Figured the Ravens were. I was expecting Buffalo to still maintain the room.
Buffalo's got to do something special this year. They've got some pieces, but no, there's people who are in this room, and as the season goes on, we'll find out. But there's no doubt that Baltimore leads the charge.
Bucks McGee is a strict innkeeper. All right. So the fun stuff that everyone waits for, and as you can see, the schedule has some graffiti on it already. So
yeah. We've knocked a few, so I'm kind of can't wait to see how this turns out.
Before we get going, I do want to give a shout out to the audience here. Raul Havana, Cleveland fans are on life support over Shedeur. I'm assuming that's a new nickname for Shedeur Sanders, getting benched in the preseason.
Let him play. I feel you just let him play and see what happens. Like if people, and mind you, I wish all the best for people in Cleveland. They've just been taking it forever. But if you honestly think this team's going to do anything playoff wise, then I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. Maybe Shedeur can take you on a magical run. Maybe keep you relevant till the end of December, beginning of January. But I don't see it.
On to the picks. And as we start at the bottom and work our way up, the picks, as always, we start at the top and work our way back down. So Baltimore, you have a decision in their first 5 games. They start off 2-0 with a win over my Colts on the road, at home versus your hated Saints. They fall at home to the Cowboys, and then they rise back to the winning side with a home victory against Tennessee, followed by a road loss to the Falcons in primetime Sunday night. That takes us to their first divisional matchup of the year against those Browns in the dog pound.
I'm sorry, Cleveland, but come on. Not the first game, maybe the second game, But right now, no, I'm going to give that to Baltimore.
Following up with another divisional matchup, this one is at home, and I read between the lines that this could be the two favorites in the division. They play Cincinnati.
Ooh. They handle Cincinnati.
They handle Cincinnati. All righty. They also handle business on a short week on Thursday at home against the Jags, and then extra long rest as the next one is also at home on Monday night in the Jesse Minter Bowl as the Chargers return to face their old DC.
Dude, this schedule is not fun. Wow. All right. Oof. So the Jags, huh?
No, the Chargers. They've already beaten the Jags.
All right, so they get the Chargers. I'll give it to Baltimore. I think it'll be a close scraper, but I will give it to Baltimore.
That is the second of what amounts to a 4-game winning streak heading into the bye, with wins on the road against Carolina and also on the road down in Houston. So into the bye, how do you feel the Baltimore Ravens should feel at 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 3?
All right, 9-3. 9-3. Okay. It might be a little high. I might have reached 1 or 2 times, but okay, 9-3. I can handle it. I'll take care of it after the bye. Don't worry about it. We'll fix this.
9-3. In other words, ready to rip your heart out as the fraudulent penthouse rounds continue.
Yeah, it's gonna be a 6-game slide. Don't worry, we'll be good.
Well, speaking of ripping your heart out, they come out of the bye to a win at home against your Bucks.
All right, yeah, I said it. I'm okay with it.
And then into the Steel City for their first matchup with Pittsburgh.
Ooh. I'm going to give this one to Pittsburgh. There needs to be a hiccup here or there, so I'm going to say Pittsburgh.
And they do play the Steelers, of course, as you could imagine, twice in their final 4 games.
They'll split. They will split.
These final 4 games, interestingly enough, all within the division. So here is the second matchup against Cleveland. This one is at home.
I think I gave Cleveland the first one. Did I give Cleveland the first? No, I didn't.
No, you did not.
and I can't. In my soul of souls, I don't know. I can't. I just can't. Nope. They take care of Cleveland. I can't. I'm sorry.
Sweep.
Yeah.
All right. Second matchup against the Bengals. This one is on the road in a short week on Thursday night.
Okay. Like I said, they'll sweep. So if they lost the first one, then they'll win this one.
So, okay. Split with the Bengals. And they wrap it up with the second Steelers matchup. This one is at home.
They win that one because I think I gave the Steelers the first win.
Yes, you did.
So there we go.
Baltimore Ravens, Bucks McGee, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 5.
Me and my bookie here, chat.
Bookie.
right on it. Both of us had them at 12 and 5.
Holy cow. I would never have guessed the algorithm to be so big on the Ravens.
Yeah, which means don't bet them. Go the other way quick. Yeah. I think 12 and 5 I think is where they end up.
All right, on to the Steelers. Now this is one that, as followers of the podcast know, you weren't looking at it now. It looks fairly even-ish, but it felt like you were very, very against them as you were picking them.
I was tearing them up. I won't lie. After a couple of shows and they popped up, I was like, "Oh man, they're gonna end up like 3 and like 14. This is gonna be horrible." But no, since you say that, I feel confident, and I think I may fall into Mike Tomlin territory. I'm feeling confident.
I'm feeling confident for mediocrity.
Consistency in mediocrity.
That's right. All right, they start off the season with a win at home against the Falcons. Then they drop one up in Foxborough to the Patriots.
Okay.
And now back-to-back divisional games as the AFC North slate opens up. The first one is at home against Cincinnati.
Ooh, early season. Could be an early season hiccup for the Bengals. I'm going to give it to the Steelers. I want them to feel a little positivity
Positivity.
before I ruin it.
Well, we'll see if you ruin it super early because the next one is on the road. Short week Thursday, they head to the Dog Pound.
I gotta give Cleveland something. So this is a hiccup. This is a hiccup. This is where the Steelers are kind of feeling good, and then they somehow lose to the Browns, and it's like, what happened here?
Now, you gave them a win on the road over my Colts. A win at home over my Colts. Then a loss heading down to play your Bucks. A win at home overseas against the Saints.
Okay.
And then they return home in the second matchup against the Browns.
Okay, they fix things and the Browns come back to earth. Give it to the
back to earth.
Back to earth.
Well, we'll see just how much back to earth as we get to the Browns schedule. All right, so that is a bye week. You have the Steelers at 5-3 heading into the bye.
Oh, that's pretty good. I'm surprised. I thought they were going to be like 2-4 or something. That's good. All right. Mike McCarthy doing your thing. All right, let's keep it going. Keep it rolling. I like that.
Out of the bye, primetime Sunday night, they head to Cincinnati for the second Bengals matchup.
Yeah, they lose this one. Yep, sorry. They're split.
The split. All right. That leads to back-to-back losses out of the bye as they head into Philly and take the L.
Mm-hmm.
And then a Black Friday, if I'm not mistaken, at home against the Broncos.
Yeah, it's going to be Black Friday, all right. Yeah, sorry. Give me the Broncos on that one.
That is the third of what amounts to 5 straight losses, losing at home primetime Sunday night to the Texans and on the road Monday night to the Jags.
Ouch.
Following it up with a win at home against the Ravens, dropping another hiccup at home to Carolina, winning on the road in the Music City against the Titans, and then finally losing on the road in Baltimore. So you have 2, 4, 6, 7, and 10 for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
7 and 10. Oh man. Well, my bookie here has them at 9 and 8. So, all right, yeah. I don't know. I want to feel bad, but I don't. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't. So they might eke out one more win out of that, but no, I think that's about the realm. 7 to 9 wins at best. So I'm fine with it.
No regrets.
No regrets. Plus or minus 2, so I could be in it.
All right. Now we're actually going to carve the Browns schedule down quite a bit by the time we get there. So we are at the Bengals schedule now. So I will run down. This will pretty much just be a recap of what you've aligned for them thus far. They start off the season on a 4-game losing streak.
Oh man.
At home to your Bucks, down in Houston, in Pittsburgh, at home to the Jags. However, they break the schneid on the road in South Beach, heading into the bye at 1-4.
Wow, 1-4. Like, they got to be better than that. I had to. Wow. All right. Well, it is what it is. But wow.
Coming out of the bye, taking one on the chin on the road against the Ravens, but then 3 straight wins at home against the Titans, overseas against Atlanta, and home against the Steelers on Sunday night, followed by a hiccup on the road Monday night in our nation's capital, and then another loss at home to the Saints. Will they snap the 2-game losing streak down in the dog pound?
Yes, they will. Like, come on, man. Yes, they will.
And this is a game that was in week 2 last year, and a game of very fond playoff memories for Bengals fans at home against the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, I think they beat the Chiefs.
The win? Alrighty. That will, in typical Bengals fashion, getting hot in November and December. That is the second of at least 5 straight wins, with a win down in Carolina, a win in Indianapolis, and a win at home on a short week on New Year's Eve against the Ravens. Now, do they close out the season on a 6-game winning streak with their second matchup at home against the Browns?
Yes. At this point, we don't even know who the quarterback's going to be. It's going to be the peanut guy, Bob Jones, from somewhere out there in Ohio. Yeah, give it to him.
Well, despite the early week 6 bye, that was quite the impressive second half for the Bengals. Bucks, McGee, you have them at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 7.
All right. See, there you go, Bengals fans. I don't hate them. I'm only,
yeah.
Me and my bookie here has them at 11-6, 10-7. We're about on par. It pretty much sticks to the Bengals' ways. First, half of the season absolutely a mess, and then they turn it on.
I guess it makes sense for the amount we talk about AFC North teams that your prediction in our conversations, you would be right on par for the top 2 teams to be the top 2 teams by the picks.
There we go. So Bengals, there you go. You guys are hanging in there.
Now there is only one game on the Browns' schedule that has yet to be determined.
Oh, Lord.
You have them starting off the season with back-to-back losses on the road. Excuse me. No, I'm sorry. You have them starting off the season with a win on the road against the Jags. A loss on the road to your Bucks.
Yeah, well, that's going to happen.
A loss at home to Carolina.
Okay.
A victory at home in a short week against Pittsburgh.
Okay.
A loss on the road to the Jets. A loss at home to the Ravens. A victory on the road over Tennessee.
Ooh.
3 straight losses heading into the bye. That is 1 in Pittsburgh, 1 in New Orleans, and 1 at home against Houston. So the Cleveland Browns at 3-7 heading into the bye.
All right, you know what? Hopefully they turn it up after the bye. I don't think so. But let's hear it.
The first game out of the bye is that one game we have yet to pick. They come out at home against the Raiders.
Ooh. All right. This is interesting because we don't, depending how the Raiders go, this could be Fernando time. Oh, man. This is rough. I'm giving it to the Brownies. Giving it to the Browns.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna give it to the Browns. I just have a feeling. I think the Browns.
And that interrupts what would have otherwise been a 6-game losing streak because they dropped 2 at home to Cincinnati and Atlanta. They get back on the winning side with a road victory over the Giants. Oddly enough, 2 wins in New York. Or in New Jersey, as details matter. A loss on the road to the Ravens, a loss at home to the Colts, and a loss on the road to Cincinnati. That brings the Browns to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 12.
Me and the bookie, tight. 5 and
5
12.
and 12?
5 and
Wow.
12 from the chat GPT, folks.
You know what? As much as you want to decry the AFC North, this was probably the closest.
I literally hit it on the head. I can't complain, I am an AFC North connoisseur.
Yes, much probably to your own chagrin in most cases.
Exactly. At the end of the day, we talked this. It's literally a 2-team race, and like I said, maybe the Browns win 1 or 2 more, make it kind of interesting. I don't know. I don't think so, but it'll be fun to watch this interesting hodgepodge.
Well, Bucks McGee, that was quite this. Every single pick within 1 to 2 victories. Sir, take us off air with your final thoughts on the AFC North, of which you appear to be such the expert analyst of this division.
All right, folks. Cleveland, I'm sorry, guys. One day I want to see you guys hit 10, 12 wins. You got to figure it out. It's not your fault. Unfortunately, your ownership's a hot mess. What this comes down to is the Steelers are just in purgatory. That's what they are. Enjoy your 8-9 wins. Lamar or Joe Burrow? Pick your poison. Who wins this division? I don't think goes far in the playoffs. I've been wrong before, but the AFC North is a 2-team race, guys. Enjoy.